Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today I'm going to be doing my NFL power rankings going into NFL Week 8. Great week of NFL Week 7. The last couple weeks I've said this and I've meant it. Great week of football, but I'm going to be honest. I don't think it was a great week of football. There was a lot of blowouts in this week's of football. You had a couple teams on the bye. So we didn't actually get to see Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson this week because both of those two teams were on the bye, and Lamar Jackson would have been able to play this week if the Ravens weren't on the bye. So you were without Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson this week. Not to mention the amount of blowouts that were in last week's football. I hope that this week is a lot more interesting. I mean, I think in the early slate there were 6 games on, and there was only one. No, there was two out of 6 one-score games, and one of them was a 13-6 game between the Panthers and the Jets. I mean, I'd rather watch a blowout than watch the Panthers and Jets cough up a 13-6 game. So I'd rather watch the Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-0 than watch the Panthers Jets go 13-6. But I'm hoping for a better week of football this week. But moving on to NFL Week 8, let's go for my NFL power rankings. Let's go. Okay, going for 30-1 at 32 to number 1. I just did my NBA power rankings, so I was thinking about 30-1. But going from 32 to 1, at number 32, this one's obvious. I got the Jets 0-7. At the same spot, of course, lost the Panthers 13-6. Yeah, the Jets are now making a QB change. Things are getting ugly for New York. 31, Dolphins 1-6, same spot as last week. Lost to the Browns 31-6. Terrible loss for the Dolphins. The Dolphins should be taking from the New York Jets and bench Tua. Quinn Ewers came in through a nice 40-yard pass to Eskridge. I would bench Tua, but because really, I don't. Quinn Ewers, I think, has a better, arm than Tua as of right now. What we've seen from Tua, and I think one thing we see that the Dolphins like to do a lot is go, screen passes. They like to do that a lot with Devon Achane. Well, Quinn Ewers is a guy at Texas who, in the Texas offense, they threw a lot of screen passes. Quinn Ewers is actually really good at throwing screen passes. I know screen passes easy to do, but it's something he's used to doing, at Texas. And I think he's a very accurate quarterback. You don't have that with Tua right now. I would bench Tua for Quinn Ewers, but what do you have to lose? You're 1-6, right? You lose 2 more games, you're probably not going to be in the. So you're not going to be in the playoffs if you're the Dolphins. Try to see if you've got something in the youngster in Quinn Ewers. At 30, I've got the Titans 1-6, same spot after losing to the Patriots 31-13. I thought Cam Ward looked decent in this game, but the Patriots just did what the Patriots have been doing. They're a great football team. All right, at 29, I've got the Saints 1-6, precinct number 28, lost the Bears 26-14. Chris Olave had a great game. Rattler didn't play terrible. Rattler did make some really bad throws that got picked. But Rattler had some nice throws to Chris Olave. He made some nice throws, but there were a lot of bad throws. There 3 interceptions, a fumble, and just the Bears offensively, I think, played ugly. Caleb Williams was under 200 passing yards, and I think that was the first time he's done that this year. Swift was good in the run game and through the pass game as well. The Bears didn't look that great. Their defense offensively didn't look great, but their defense has looked outstanding in the last 4 games. They've won 4 in a row. Their defense, I think, has really taken a huge step. Week 2, when they went to 0-2, they gave up 52 points to the Lions and just looked awful. Ever since, they've really turned a corner. Okay, at 28, I've got the Raiders 2-5, previously number 24, lost to the Chiefs 31-0. Just ugly. They paid Geno Smith $70 million over 2 years, and he's done nothing, right? They're 2-5. He's got good weapons. Genty, Jacoby Myers, and Brock Bowers, but Bowers has missed the last couple weeks. But that would have not made a difference last week. Maybe they put up a couple scores, but they still lose by double digits against the Chiefs. So, it's been ugly. It's been ugly that they paid Geno. They gave up a second-round pick for him, for starters, and then they paid him that money, and this is how he's looked? Just awful. Okay, 27, I've got the Cardinals, same spot. I don't think they deserve to fall back at all. They're 2-5, but they're I think they're one of the best looking 2-5 teams. The last couple weeks, they've had their backup quarterback in against good teams like the Packers and Colts, and they've been one score losses. So lost the Packers this week 27-23. 26, I've got the Giants, previously number 23. I think I very well could have argued that I could have had the Giants 27 and the Cardinals 26, but I didn't. Ugly, allowing 33 points. There's not much to say, but I think one of the main things, the positive things to come out with the Giants is how good Jackson Dart has looked since taking over. He's looked spectacular. At 25, I've got the Cleveland Browns. I think they are the best 2-5 team. They won against the Dolphins 31-6. Quinshon Judkins looked insane. Dylan Gabriel hasn't had a turnover in his 3 starts as the Cleveland Browns quarterback. That's interesting. At 24, I've got the Ravens 1-5, previous number 25. They had the bye week. If you're asking, the Ravens are 1-5. They just had the bye week. Why are they moving up? Why are they 24 when there are teams with better records over them? Well, just if you ask me, the Ravens in the last couple games they played that they've lost, they've been without Lamar Jackson. And now if you look at it, the Ravens' schedule is getting easier as the season goes on. They're getting Lamar Jackson back. So I'm confident that the Ravens can maybe get things going with Lamar Jackson getting back. Okay, at 23, I've got the Texans 2-4. Previously number 20, loss to the Seahawks 27-19. Tough loss to the Texans. The offense looks abysmal, but they were playing against a really good defense. And honestly, just right now, in my opinion, their defense looks like the best defense in the NFL, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. 22, Bengals 3-4, previous number 26, beat the Steelers 33-31. Great win for the Bengals. See if they can get back-to-back against the 0-7 Jets. And be some revenge for Joe Flacco against his old team, the Jets. A lot of people might not remember that he played for the Jets, but yes, he did. All right. 21, I've got the Commanders 3-4, previous number 18, lost the Cowboys 44-22. Ugly loss, but Jay Daniels did leave in the third quarter, so how it could have been different, but we'll never know. All right, 20, I've got the Vikings 3-3, previous number 19, lost the Eagles 28-22. Bad loss for the Vikings, but they still have their backup quarterback in Carson Wentz, who yes, he has thrown a decent amount of interceptions, but he's made some good plays and was getting just murdered in this game against the Eagles. But the Eagles' pass game looks great. Then number 19, I've got the Falcons 3-3, previous number 16, lost the 49ers 20-10. Tough loss for the Falcons. 18, I've got the Jaguars 4-3, previously number 10, lost the Rams 35-7. Ugly loss for the Jaguars. Just brutal. 17, I've got the Cowboys 3-1. Previous number 22 beat the Commanders 44-22. Great win for the Cowboys this week. At 16, I've got the Panthers 4-3. Previous number 21 beat the Jets 13-6. Had to move the Panthers up. It's going to be hard for them to win this week against the Bills, most likely without Bryce Young. That's going to be really tough. Even though the Panthers have improved, I think that's still going to be tough for them. Chargers 4-3, previous number 6, lost to the Colts 38-24. Herbert looked awful. We will see what happens this Thursday night when they play the Vikings. That will be an interesting Thursday night game. 14, I've got the Bears 4-2, previous number 17, beat the Saints 26-14. Great win for the Bears. Their defense looks incredible. That's what I'll say. 13, got the Steelers. They're 4-2, previous number 3. I'm embarrassed to say I had the Steelers at number 3. Lost to the Bengals 33-31. At 12, I've got the Bills 4-2, previous number 15. They had the bye week this week. At 11, I have the Patriots 4-2, previous number 14. Beat the Titans 31-13. The Patriots looked amazing. At 10, I've got the 49ers 5-2, previous number 11. Beat the Falcons 20-10. The 49ers look good right now, but their schedule's been easy. Their injuries are really tough. I'm interested to see what the 49ers offense can do facing a great defense like the Texans this week. I don't know. This might be crazy for saying. I am a Texans fan, so I'll admit there is some bias. But I feel like the 49ers could be in danger of losing this week against the Texans. You're on the road. You're facing probably the best defense in the NFL. You've got all these injuries that the 49ers have. I feel like this could be a trap game for the 49ers this week, especially with the injuries they have facing the Texans defense. At 9, they've got the Kansas City Chiefs 4-3, previous number 13, beat the Raiders 31-0. Great win for the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes right now, especially after the Baker Mayfield performance last night against the Lions, even though I've got the Chiefs at 9, Patrick Mahomes, and I hate to say this, is my MVP favorite right now. He has played lights out. The Chiefs are better than what their record is, but because of what their record is, I don't have them at 9. I think there are actually a lot. I think the Chiefs, in my opinion, are probably the second or third best AFC team, but I think there are a lot of better NFC teams, and that's one of the reasons why I only have them at 9. At 8, I have the Rams, who are 5-2. Previous number 12 beat the Jags 35-7. Great win for the Rams. At 7, I have the Seahawks, 5-2. Previous number 9 beat the Texans 27-19. Great win for the Seahawks. There's no other team that has scored an amount of points of offense that the Seahawks did against the Texans defense. The Bucks played them, only scored 20. The Rams played them with Puka and Devontae Adams, only scored 14. The Jags played them. And I know the Jags, haven't been, efficient, but hey, this is a team that scored 31 points against the Chiefs, and they were able to only score, what was it? I think it was like 10 points. No, it wasn't 10 points. It was 17 points they were able to score against the Texans. So their defense has been lights out, and Sam Darnold and that Seahawks offense was able to score 27 points. I think they're a really good football team. At 6, I've got the Bucks 5-2. Previous number 1 lost to the Lions 24-9. Ugly loss for the Bucks. At 5, I've got the Eagles 5-2. Previous number 8 beat the Vikings 28-22. Good bounce back for the Eagles. I think their pass game looked the best it's looked in a long time. At 4, I've got the Broncos 5-2. Previous number 7 beat the Giants 33-32. Great comeback by the Broncos. At 3, I've got the Lions 5-2. Previous number 5 beat the Bucks 24-9. Great way to shut down Baker Mayfield in that Bucks offense. At number 2, I've got the Packers 4-1-1. Previous number 4 beat the Cardinals 27-23. It was a tough game, but Jordan Love and the Packers offense were able to get it done, and then at the end of the game, they were able to, outscore. It was halftime, it was 13-3. They were able to outscore the Cardinals 24-10 in the second half. Much better second half for the Packers. At 1, I've got the Colts. I think they're the best team in football right now. That's right now, but right now I think they're the best team in football. Previous number 2 beat the Chargers 38-24. Justin Herbert is a quarterback who does not throw a lot of interceptions. He's a guy who usually stays away from throwing interceptions, and the Colts just got 3 interceptions off of him this week. So I thought that they played a great game. Their offense continues to look amazing. Jonathan Taylor right now, could be an MVP guy. I mean, I just said Patrick Mahomes should be an MVP favorite. I think Jonathan Taylor is right in the mix with Patrick Mahomes. Jonathan Taylor, I believe this is crazy, might be having a better season so far through 7 games than what Saquon Barkley was having through 7 games. If Taylor can keep it up and keep doing what he's been doing through 7 games, Jonathan Taylor really could win the MVP award this year. You guys, let me know your thoughts on my NFL power rankings in the comments section, and peace out.